Hey guys, thanks for watching the video and welcome to the Schwell page. I'm going to be having these videos. They're going to be hosted on my Schwell page and the Schwell 11 page. Kill you guys with tons of the same stuff over and over again. Basically spam you with new videos. The Schwell series, basically what I'm going to start doing is covering all my real steel shooting, my real steel collecting, real world situational awareness training, and all the other training that I go through, my CCW, just things that I deal with on a day-to-day basis. I'm becoming addicted, which is the best word, addicted to real steel shooting on a regular basis, bettering myself, bettering my preparedness for everyday scenarios that may present themselves or not. You know, let's hope that they don't present themselves and I never have to use this stuff. Maybe I'll just end up being a collector who just has a whole bunch of outdoor gear, guns, survival tools, knives, you know, the generators and all of that stuff. I just wanted to help show you guys all of that stuff on this channel. What I'm showing you today is my Chicago Electric Power Tools Ultrasonic Cleaner. Now this is sold at Harbor Freight for normally $99. I got it on sale for $75, then I had a 20% coupon off of that, so it was a great bargain for what it is. The Chicago Electric Power Tools version that comes from Harbor Freight comes with just this plastic tray, the unit itself, the power cord. If you look here, these loops are old wire hangers that I cut and bent to fit on this tray. There is a version of this ultrasonic cleaner that is made, or at least labeled, specifically for gun cleaning. And it comes with a deep tray. And the tray is about 2.5 to 3 inches deep. This one doesn't have any sidewalls. So I added those loops so that I could easily take them out because this is a heated unit and the water does get hot to the touch. And if you see inside here, there's a minimum line and a maximum line. That's the amount of liquid that you want to put in here. I use a combination of water and degreaser. What I use is this, hopefully that comes out in it, is this LA's Totally Awesome all-purpose concentrated cleaner and degreaser. Now I get this stuff by the gallon from either Home Depot or Walmart, or in this case that little bottle that I just showed you, I got that from Family Dollar. So it's very inexpensive stuff and it works really well for cleaning and degreasing around the house and tools in the garage. That's where I originally stumbled across it. Now with all of my research that I've done, some guys use gun specific cleaners and lubes. Some guys use multi-purpose degreasers and stuff, but for what I'm cleaning today, this degreaser is going to be my first line of, let's say, offense. It should get the job done really well. First thing I'm going to do here is I am going to add water to the unit. In normal situations, I add the items that are being cleaned, I add those prior to adding the water. That way when I do add the water, I only add enough water to get about a quarter of an inch above the items that are being cleaned. I don't want to put too much water in there. I also don't want to have not enough water in it. So usually I put the items in, then I fill the area with water, or the unit with water. Once that's done, I hit what you see here. It has on, off, set, TC. The TC is for temperature control. You got on once you set the time in seconds. This is all displayed in seconds. Once you set the time, you hit on and it starts going. Well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn on the temperature control. That red light indicates that the unit is heating up the water. There is a heating element on this side of the ultrasonic cleaner. It is very evident. If you happen to leave this thing on with the temperature control on and then add water, the sizzle is only in that one spot. But that one little spot is ideal to heat this water up. Now what I do is usually I turn it on, let the heat build up in this, but to speed up that process, I set it to 480 seconds, which is equal to 8 minutes, and then I turn the unit on. I'm not sure if the camera is picking it up, but the water is moving around. Most of the movement you see here is in the middle, but it's pretty much, ultrasonic means that it's cleaning with vibration. Sound in the water is going to cause vibration, which is going to loosen up the items. Well, I let this run for 8 minutes. Covered just to muffle the sound, because when you put the cover on, the sound is muffled a little bit, so it makes it easier to deal with. I let it run for 8 minutes, and then by the time this 8-minute cycle is done, the water is at a really good temperature to help cut through any grease, corrosion, carbon buildup. You name it, this stuff should help. Just a quick update. I forgot to mention it or do it just a second ago, but I added a degreaser into the unit while it's doing this, while it's vibrating. It's going to mix it into the water as well as heat that degreaser as well. I didn't want to not show that step to you guys. I wanted you to see that. Basically, I added it in. I put in about an ounce of degreaser. Now, you don't need that much, but depending on how many items you're cleaning or how dirty those items are, you let that determine how much degreaser or cleaner that you're going to use. While it's still in the heating mixing mode, I just wanted to show you guys what we're going to be cleaning today. This may look familiar to some of you, probably not most of you, but these are the ammo pouches that come with Mosin Nagants. I just picked up a Mosin Nagant last week for my anniversary. It was my gift from my wife for myself. And those of you who have any experience with these guns, you know that cosmoline is a problem. Well, I lucked out when I got my unit. The previous owner is a collector. So when I got mine, it was in pristine condition. It was already clean. There was no cosmoline on the firearm itself, on the rifle itself. Which was kind of disappointing because I was looking forward to breaking it down and cleaning it up and figuring out ways myself that I could get rid of the cosmoline, because if you look on YouTube, there are tons of videos out there where guys are experimenting or giving you their ideas of what will work and what won't work in regards to removing the cosmoline. This is what I'm going to be cleaning today. You see all the cosmoline on this? And again, this came with the Mosin Nagant. And this stuff is disgusting. So instead of me trying to play with it and wipe it off with a rag and then try and spray it down and wipe it off some more and clean it up and polish it up and make it look pretty, I figured, you know what, this would be the perfect item to do a video on the ultrasonic cleaner. This is as nasty as it gets. Alright, so we have 175 seconds left of this initial heating cycle. The water is extremely warm, but not hot to the touch. It does get about 10 to 20 degrees hotter than it is right now. When you do finish going through these cycles, or after you run it through quite a few cycles, the temperature control will cut off on its own once the water reaches a certain temperature. I didn't read up to find out what that exact temperature was, but let's just put it this way. Reaching your hand in here to pull the units out can be quite painful if you run it through quite a few cycles. The first cycle, maybe the first 2 cycles, you may be able to deal with the pain or the heat of the water. But after that, once you start getting to 3 and 4 cycles, it starts to be unbearable. Alright, well, the ultrasonic cleaner has gone through its initial 8-minute heat up cycle, and that's a preference thing. You don't have to do the heat up cycle. It's not necessary, but I like to have the water warm. When I added the water to the unit, the water was warm as well coming out of the faucet. I'm going to take both caps off. There we go. Both caps off keeps the item. And let's set it again. We're going to go back to the 480. We're going to turn it on and we're going to let it do its thing. I'm not putting the lid on right now. I have not seen this thing splash up anything. So having the lid on there is only used to subdue the sound. I don't know if you guys can really pick it up in the video. It's kind of annoying, but not too bad. Again, it's clouding up already. And I will try and see if I can, no, I cannot get any closer. What I can do is, the 4:30 mark, I'm going to go ahead and just speed up the video and fast forward all the way through to the end of the first cycle so you guys can see how much cleaning it actually did after that first cycle. Alright, give me a second. We're in the final minute here. I'm not sure if you guys can see this or if it's picking it up on the camera or not. The camera's too high for me to actually look at the viewfinder, but you see these floating debris. This is the cosmoline breaking down and coming off of the canister. And I got quite a few floaters. Now this is only the first cycle. Because that stuff was on there so thick, I didn't expect it to come right off. I also don't expect to get it 100% clean without actually using a brush or some type of rag or something to wipe most of this stuff off, because it's built on, it's really on there thick. And again, like I said, who knows how long that stuff was actually on the item. But last 5 seconds here, and I mean, you see the pieces floating around, they're just popping up from all over the place. It's gonna stop the vibe. The ultrasonic portion stops. Again, the heat remains on. And what I'm going to do here is I'm just gonna pull this up and let you guys see. Oh. Now this stuff is a lot softer now. If I wanted to wipe it, just wipe it off right now, I could do a good job of wiping it off. I mean, I'm just barely touching it. So if I let this sit as it is right now, without it being on, with just the heat, it would continue to break it down, and you would also notice a lot of the dirt and debris settling down. So it would give you a better idea of how dirty this stuff is. It'll just settle down to the bottom, and you'll be able to see everything that as it accumulates at the bottom, minus the floater stuff. The stuff that's floating is going to remain floating. But we're going to go ahead and do another 480-second cycle. And again, I'm going to speed up the video and just let this run. I'm probably going to cut in and out so that it's not just 20 minutes of you guys watching bubbles in water. All right? There are going to be guys out there that watch this video and they're going to see me going through all of these steps and think that I'm wasting my time, or I'm just, you know, being lazy. That is not the case. I saved this piece for cleaning specifically to show you guys the Chicago Electric Power Tools Ultrasonic Cleaner. Again, I got it from Harbor Freight. It was a bargain. They don't normally sell them for $99. It was on sale for $75. Then I had a 20% off coupon from the NRA that I used, so I saved quite a bit of money on this thing. They also have a smaller unit, which was, I believe, only $29. This one they list as a 4-liter. I don't remember. I think the other one may have been like 1.5 liters. So it's very small. Now, for those of you who own pistols or like to clean small items on your guns, like I used this last week to clean the bolt assembly of my AR-15, and when you break it down, even if you put it in here as one whole piece, everything went in there nice and easy. Honestly, if I had broken the gun down to where it was just the upper receiver without the front end, the upper receiver would have fit in there as well. But that's just overkill. So pistols, slides, the internals, you take some stuff out. If it's dirty, there's a lot of carbon buildup barrels. Take those out, you drop those in here, and this item, this device makes light work of it. Or not even light work, it just makes it a lot faster and a lot easier for you to deal with. You put the stuff in here, ultrasonically cleans most of the buildup and stuff off. You may have to take it out every once in a while and scrub it with a brush to loosen up some of the buildup. Throw it back in there. After a few cycles, you're good to go. Now, what it does is it eliminates a lot of the elbow grease, a lot of the extra work that you have to put in to break down some of the stuff. So that's where the benefit of having something like this comes in. Also, I can break down 2 and 3 guns and clean them all at the same time while working on other parts that cannot be put in here. Like if you don't, like let's say my 1911, I took my 1911 apart. I was able to take the slide apart, get all of those pieces broken down, extract all of that stuff, threw it in there, let that work. While that was being cleaned by the ultrasonic cleaner, I worked on the lower, and I did that by hand because I didn't want to put the whole lower in there. I didn't want to remove the grips. That portion I was being lazy, but can you really call it lazy if I'm doing the work by hand for that portion? So once my slide and everything was done being cleaned, take it out, dry it off, air it out, make sure everything's dry. I use my blower and my air compressor and make sure any water in any small places is actually blown out. And then I lube everything by hand and make sure that everything is nice and lubricated. I'll do a video on what my lubrication points are and what I use for lubrication. Some of you guys who aren't extremely experienced in this type of stuff, you'd be surprised at what a lot of gun users use to lubricate their guns. Let's just say it's something that you change every 3 months. I just wanted to do this video so I could show you guys that these ultrasonic cleaners are worth the money and that they actually do work. They're not going to replace just, you know, the normal hands-on, let's get it clean, but it does help, especially if you have quite a few firearms. And I will be doing a video showcasing what I do possess, most of it. I'm not going to show everything I have, but I will be doing videos, and that's what this channel is all about, me showing you and sharing my experiences, especially with my real steel stuff. I wanted to try and separate it from my airsoft stuff because they're two totally different worlds. All right, guys. I'm just gonna dip it in the water. I'm gonna use a nylon brush. This stuff is actually very, very, very soft at this point. With the heat from the ultrasonic cleaner, it's about as liquefied as cooking grease, I guess. Like vegetable oil or something like that. So at this point, the ultrasonic cleaner has broken it down quite a bit. It was just a matter of getting the stuff to come off. So but if you look close enough, well, you don't even really have to look all that close. You can see that the stuff is floating away. Why did I just drop that in there? I don't know. Well, you guys see the nasty buildup here. What I'm going to do just for the purposes of this video is I'm going to dump out this dirty, murky water and start with some fresh water so you guys can see the final cycle and see how much more stuff comes off in that final cycle. Again, this is after 2 cycles, 2 8-minute cycles, so 16 minutes of actual cleaning time. Alright, so we added more water. I turned the temperature control on. I added another 1.5 ounces of degreaser. And we're going to go ahead and let it run for another 480-second cycle. I'm going to turn the heating off. I'm going to go ahead and unplug the unit and move it out of the way so that I can bring the cleaned items. You can notice this left cap. This is the cap that I actually scrubbed with the brush. It got a lot of it out, but not all of it. This is the one I did not scrub with the brush inside, and this will give you an idea of what we started with. Here's the container. You saw I took the brush to it just a little bit, but not too much. I think it came out really well compared to what it was at the beginning. And you guys saw what it looked like at the beginning of the video. So this is a night and day difference. All I have to do now is take a rag. I mean, you guys can't feel it, but I can feel it. There is no lubrication on here except in a couple of spots where, you know, when I was pulling it out, some of these floaters got back on the unit. But, you know, usually there's like a film of lubrication still behind. Not after using this unit. This thing does a really good job. Now, I could have done this by hand, but it would have been really messy and really messy. So, that came out really well. I'm extremely satisfied. Here's the back side of the cap. Now, again, this was from a 1937 most heat gone. So I don't expect these things to come out looking like they just came off the assembly line, that they're going to look great. No, there's going to be some blemishing, there's going to be some oxidation, there's going to be some scratches, but you know what? You can't clean those off. I could polish this thing up, make it look showroom pretty, but that's not what it's about. I'm actually going to shoot my Nagant and enjoy it like it's supposed to be enjoyed. It's a firearm. I'm going to shoot the hell out of it. Again, this video was just to demonstrate the ultrasonic cleaner. The next time I go to the range and I have to clean my my everyday carry and all that other stuff, the Glocks, 1911s, the Sigmas, the XD, I have quite a few guns. Once I get those nice and dirty again, I'll do another video. I'll revisit the ultrasonic cleaner just to show you guys what the cleanup after a day at the range is like and what that includes. Alright, so this is Schwell. I hope you guys enjoy the new channel, and stay tuned. I got some new announcements I'm going to be making. I got some new partners who are going to be working on these projects with me. Schwell11 is still going to be getting some new videos. I got some stuff I'm working on with gearlocker.net, darkthreads.com, cqbradio.com, Echo One USA, as usual, Airsoft Barracks, Combat City. I just have tons of stuff leading up to SHOT Show this year, and we're going to make it big. The coverage is going to be a lot better than what I did last year. This is going to be my second trip there, so I know what to expect. So I hope you guys are out there having fun, being safe, and also being responsible. And this is Schwell, and I hit you with the two fingers. Later.